Thank you very much. Honorable Consul General, sir, very respected Madhu, sir, Science Counsellor, Embassy of India. Thank you very much for taking time to be in this annual meeting of NISARG, very special event, Network of Indian Scientists, Academics and Researchers in Germany. It's celebrating 5th year, so small jubilee, actually. So it started when the Consul General sir took charge in August in 16, and then immediately we put up this idea, and so it's very nice that it is here in this stage. Today we would like to, before we start, we would like to pay homage to our former President of India, Bharat Ratna Dr. Pranab Mukherjee, who passed away on Monday, the 31st of August. It's a very sad moment, and very big stalwart and very respected politician par excellence, and also somebody who connected with the common public very much and is very highly respected, not only within India and all over the India. Some other countries also actually officially announced the mourning for a president of another country, which shows the amount of love and affection they showed. So with that, paying of the homage, we go into the program of NISARG. This NISARG itself is a very loose connect. We didn't want to have it very structured, and I would like to express my great gratitude to Consul General Sir for accepting very warmly and also helping a lot in realizing the idea even at that point of time. And over the last years, actually, NISARG, as I said, it's not per se a big structured one, and it was also the intention not to have it that way. The idea is to actually connect the academic scientists and researchers, and also help each other, and also to be in touch, to understand what others are doing, and to support them and get networked, communicated. So that's the whole idea of this NISARG. And I like to take this opportunity also to thank Rajnish Bhai, Dr. Rajnish Tiwari, Dr. Mayank Kumar Golpelwar, also from Bremen, and also Faizan from Kiel. All of them who have been from the beginning of the initiative have been very closely in the team and supporting that in the last event was all good. So we thought now in this year what we can do and how we can do it, how can we take it further. And it's very fortunate that we are on the September 5th, the day, the Teachers' Day is the original Teachers' Day, the day which is being commemorated all over in India. And so it's also a fine occasion. And today we have some very special speakers, and also we will have the launch of the NISARG channel itself. We thought how to keep connected and also to give the face to all those researchers who are part of this. And then we are launching the NISARG YouTube channel later in the program. And from every time to time, we will be interviewing the people who are part of the NISARG and the new scientists and researchers coming in, and those who want to really share their story and their field of expertise, so that it's just not about just once in a year event, but also keeping every month or once in 2 months, and a collection of videos, so that those who are new and also those who are there who want to know about what the Indian academics who are in Germany, or the German academics or international academics working closely with India, also can get to know what others are doing. Maybe there are potential cooperation that could be developed based on this. So the idea is to spread the word on these things. And so I think that is a very good thing that's coming up. So I would like to start with this, and to the beginning, I would like to kindly invite our Honorable Consul General Sir to give the welcome note on this NISARG. Consul General Sir, the floor is yours, please.
Very good afternoon. Namaskar. All the participants and our speakers, especially I welcome Dr. Madhusudan from the Embassy, who has so kindly joined this meeting. Actually, the education, research, science, and all intellectuals are part of his domain as far as our headquarters in Berlin is concerned. So, Madhusudanji, we welcome you here. We all to this as the brief provided to you before, and also briefly Bala has already said that how the NISARG started. In fact, when I came in 2016 on Teachers' Day, it was a very informal meeting at my office. I called some of the intellectuals and who was like teaching in teaching field, or either research or scholars. And it was just like a 9-10 students, as you already heard, not students, the professors, teachers, researchers, and intellectuals, they were there, and then we called them, and then we were talking informally. I just came a month before, and the idea came that do we have a pool of intellectuals in the consulate? Do we meet, or do we have any sort of connect? Then I came to know that even the intellectuals in Hamburg, they don't know each other, despite being there for 10, 15 years. Forget about the one who is living in Kiel and Hanover, except the few who were in touch because of their activities from the day one when they were students here, and later on always remained in touch with the consulate, and also did the good work for the Indian diaspora. Like Balaramani, he was the founder of the ISS, which is going great. I can proudly say that is one of the best Indian diaspora association in Germany. So those were the one who actually came forward, and then this idea was mooted to have one association where all the intellectuals can meet, and we can utilize their services later on when there is some function, VIP visits, or even anytime we need them, because they have been doing so much for Germany and also for the society in India, and they have studied, read, and teaching. So we need their services, and this is how the idea came up during that, and then we actually formed. And thanks to all the names which Bala just read out, and the name, this NISARG, very Hindi classical name. Thanks to Dr. Rajnish Tiwari. Thank you. It is so everyone is just say what is NISARG. So later on when you have your keynote speech, please explain the meaning of NISARG. And then we had a big event in 2017, and later on, now I'm happy to say that those intellectuals in Northern Germany are well connected. Through them, we also got connected with the Indian students, and our consulate, and as HOP here at head of post or counselor, I can say proudly that we are well connected with the students here. From the day one when they come from India, we try to provide them, make them comfortable through the association, through ISG, the Indian Students of Germany, which Dr. Madhusudan, it's your baby, but they are made comfortable. And then we have a welcome meet, which Bala was very crucial to start as a ISG founder and mentor, and also ISS, that time he was the president. So then we started those welcome events where we try to meet and I used to go there personally and meet those students. And then those students were called at my home for lunch, not all, but limited, like 15 from every place every year. Unfortunately, this year we couldn't for obvious reasons. And then the students got connected. And this NISARG, those the senior ones, they became their mentor. And this is how this small idea has now blossomed. And we are as Bala said, we are in the 5th year. And now as he said that, this channel will also be started so that the activities of NISARG will be reached out to others, and who couldn't join the events, they can see it later also. Normally we have the physical meetings, but this year, because this corona pandemic, we are having this, but this is good. We have the recorded version of this will be available on our YouTube channel, which can be seen later. We will put a link on our Facebook also. So this is how we got connected. And since Dr. Madhusudan from representing embassy here, I'll tell you that those intellectuals whose name Bala can provide you later can be utilized when there's some meet in the embassy where you need them, because normally when Indian diaspora meet is there, then 2 or 3 persons or 4 persons from each association comes around, and in all 16 states there are hundreds of associations. Sometimes some associations are not represented at all, and some people are more, like I saw during last 2-3 meets that either Hamburg, Frankfurt or Berlin are there. People from Munich side, they come in less numbers, and even sometime except Berlin, all those 5 other states people don't come. So there could be some special meet of intellectuals, because these are the Indian diaspora persons who have been here, who started their life as a student, and then they did their research, PhD, and even some are in the international offices, some are even teaching, and some even working as a teacher in international schools, like Dr. Arundhati there in Braunschweig. She was the one who attended the first meeting. So like that. So it is my proposal that you can have a meeting in Berlin sometime when you feel physical, after our ambassador approves it, because that then they will not only know these 4 states each other, but all other intellectuals from the other remaining states in under those 2 consul generals in our Berlin office. So that is my request, since you are there. And during this corona time, I think there are some researchers from doctors also, and I was not there, unfortunately, because I got stuck in India at that time. And our team led by Gulshan Dhingra, who is already in the meeting right now, they did wonderful job. And the efforts put on by Indian diaspora leaders from the association and also those intellectuals, they were crucial. And because our consulate with 2-3 India-based officials can't do much, so we need help of such Indian diaspora intellectuals and persons who really have, like ISS and Sakti IFAO, DIGs and other associations, and also the members of NISARG, as it is not a very registered one, and we wanted to keep it a very informal one, because we don't want to get entangled into the web of rules and regulations, and we wanted to keep it a formal. So those, we have a list of all those persons who have been attending and who have been part of this NISARG event, and that we will be sharing with the embassy. And I think we can take this platform, which is now 5 years old, to a higher level, where not only the 4 states, but they can meet their counterparts from other states, falling the areas falling under the jurisdiction of 2 consulates, Munich, Frankfurt, and our embassy in Berlin. So that is the message I would like to convey. And I think we have today's keynote speaker, Dr. Rajnish Tiwari. He is a well-known face here in Hamburg and in Northern Germany. Even he attended some events in Berlin also, and he's a regular on GIRT forum, which is a forum which also has 1 or 2 events every year. So he's one of the, he also did research for our commercial, so he wrote some 1 or 2 research papers for the consulate also, which were published by us in a particular sector. He is known for frugal innovation. And so we also look forward to hear him, because his keynote speeches and even speeches whenever we have a function are always well received. So we also welcome you, Dr. Rajnish Tiwari, and today his wife is also there. She is a face behind you, so please introduce her also today, because she is well qualified, and we welcome her also, Sadhana ji, to this intellectual forum. And during this corona, so far, as far as Germany is concerned, things have been tackled well. India, initially due to lockdown, where I witnessed it because I was there, the logistics were prepared, and now though the numbers are more, but the fatality rate is going down, so that's good. And some intellectuals who are in the research field of biotechnology or in the field of this virus research and medicine and the treatment, I think they can also come forward and help this research work, and they get connected through Dr. Madhusudan, because he is always looking for the to take the research work of our Indian scientists back to India, pay back to the society. So there's a program also from DST. He can explain it during his brief speech. So I think I have been given 10 minutes, so it's over. So we look forward to a great event today, and we look forward to your speech also, Dr. Madhusudan, and the event. Thank you very much. The one who joined today, and the one who have not joined, they can see at the YouTube channel's recorded version. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, CG. Thanks for this taking through the timeline. It's nice. So now let's go directly to the next speaker, we have Dr. Madhusudan Reddy, Nandineni, Counsellor, Science and Technology, Embassy of India. I just want to add few words before we can start. After taken office as Science Corp, I think one of the first event was the IST event, if I'm right. We met the students directly there, and it was a very, very active participation, and he interacted with them, get to know about the various student association, office bearers all over Germany were there, and it was very nice for him to immediately be there in Magdeburg. Actually, Magdeburg Indians actually organized that event, and we also have Avinash today, one of the coordinators of the IST, and has been also working very hard in terms of trying to see how researchers can be academicians of Indian origin, and also others to be connected all over Germany as responsible from the embassy side. So we are very grateful that you took time and to be part of this initiative today, Dr. Madhu, and please, we look forward to your message and greeting words. The floor is yours, please.
Namaskar. At the outset, I would like to thank Shri Madan Raigar ji, Consul General Hamburg, and I'd like to thank Dr. Balaramani for giving me this opportunity. And I'll also like to give my best wishes to Shri Dindraji, who is here, and also the speaker who will be speaking, Dr. Tiwari, and Dr. Mayank, and Dr. Sadhna ji, and all others. Greetings from Embassy of India in Berlin. And I wanted to meet all of you in the month of March, and we means I and Shri Madanlal ji had actually planned a meeting when I was supposed to visit Hamburg CGA office, and then we have planned a meeting of all the Indian associations there, but unfortunately because of this pandemic we couldn't meet. But this is a very good opportunity that we were able to meet and know each other through this digital platform. At the outset, I would like to compliment the entire team at CGI, most importantly, Sri Madanlal ji and his team, with active cooperation from all the other members, including Dr. Balaramani, Dr. Tiwari, Dr. Mayank, that they have put up this NISARG, network of Indian scientists, academics, researchers in Germany, and researchers in Germany. It's an excellent platform, and I would like to compliment you for the commendable job which has been done on your part to bring together the Indian academics, Indian researchers onto one platform in your region. And at the outset, I would like to say there is thinking which has gone into making what we call as Indo-German Research Network also, which we are thinking, and significant work has been done. And actually, I see a lot of parallels here, and then we can work together in actually strengthening this network of Indo-German researchers, academics, and scientists, so that we can take this Indo-German relations in science, technology, innovation, and higher education to a next level. And I would need your support and help in this regard. And as Dr. Madanlalji has said, we will definitely work together to take this initiative forward and see to it that the Indo-German relations, especially in STI, science, technology, innovation, and higher education, go to the next level. Having said that, as I said, that Indo-German Researchers Network, which we are planning, is actually made significant progress, and we will need your help in actually while launching and integrating. Sometimes we can join our hands and we need not repeat the whole circle again, and sometimes 1 + 1 need not be 2, it can be 11, some people have said. So therefore we will join our forces and see to it that we get a pan-German Indo-German researchers, academicians, and scientists network as a strong pillar who can actually guide and take the relations further. Having said this, the objectives have been laid out by Dr. Bala and Shri Madanlalji. When this network, and what we are also proposing the network, can actually look into some of the pressing problems which India is facing today, and which the science and technology departments, and more importantly, the principal scientific advisor to the Prime Minister, PSA, what we call PSA's office, is actually propagating some of the few critical areas in the area of electric mobility, in the area of quantum frontiers, artificial intelligence, waste to wealth, and deep ocean exploration, biodiversity, and basically biodiversity and also bioscience. So these are the 9 critical areas where the PSS office is actually pushing, which will which will be the future focus of Indian science and technology. And these areas are emerging, I would say. These are futuristic, which are disruptive, which are strategic areas, and which are actually very critical for India's development. So these areas which the PSS office is propagating and all science departments are propagating. So we need to work on this, and I'm sure I need all the cooperation from the NISARG fraternity in actually pushing these objectives of emerging technologies, futuristic technologies in India. And as Dr. Madan has said, there is a lot we can learn from here and then complement it in India, and it will be a win-win situation for both India and Germany in this regard. And having said this, there are 2 other points which I wanted to say, especially with regard to Dr. Tiwari's expertise about frugal innovation. There is one aspect about Agni, which he might be aware, and I'm sure he will develop on this, which is to actually help in techno-commercialization of this innovation ecosystem in India. So this is again one of the concepts which is the pet projects of PSA, which is being propagated. One of the 9 projects which we can call Navratnas of one of the Navratna projects which we can call, which is being propagated and pushed by the PSS office. When you look at the employability issue in India and the skills sets in India, skill development, as per one particular estimate, more than 50% of Indians actually need reskilling to be able to retain their job. And the next 2-3 years they need to undergo reskilling so that they can actually retain their jobs. And this is an important aspect which needs to be drilled upon. And when one looks at the urbanization scenario, there is a scheme which people, there is one estimate which I say there will be around 5,000 urban cities, they call the suburban cities, and more than 50,000 rural cities. So all these things is actually taking us to urbanization, but there are a large number of population who still stay in rural areas. For them, one needs to look at the connectivity, the all-weather roads, the digital connectivity, the banks, the digitalization. So the rural population also have to be taken on board, and schemes have to be implemented, and our innovation or our ideas should also be looking at such schemes, rural India, helping the rural infrastructure. And the third most important point is Corona has given a new dimension to the way we look at communicable diseases. But more than these communicable or infectious diseases, there is a large set of non-communicable diseases, what we call as lifestyle diseases like asthma, diabetes and all. So one needs to look at these non-communicable diseases, which is an important aspect in the future, which is going to hold our attention. Added to this is our air pollution, water pollution, and sustainability development goals. So this is the second aspect which I wanted to say. And the last aspect, which I will take a minute, is about the new National Education Policy, NEP 2020, which has been accepted by the Cabinet, Indian government, in last week of July. So it's just, few weeks back, it has been accepted. It's a document which will actually envisages the way the education system will be from kindergarten. Kindergarten means the nursery or year 2 or year 3 till higher education. Actually, this is the new education policy which has come up in this new millennium, not only in this century but this new millennium. The last such policy was in 1986. So this policy, which is actually a forward-looking revolutionary policy, envisages lot of schemes. And one such particular aspect which I was looking at is higher education and internationalization. This area is very important because I also look after higher education between India and Germany, wherein this policy talks about provisions for students from India to go abroad and foreign students to come and stay and do courses in India. So they are talking about a bank, academic bank, wherein academic credit banks, wherein they can actually transfer the credits from one university to another university, which is not possible now. Now they are thinking about academic credit banks where they can do some credits in one university and then they can transfer to another university. This is one aspect. The second aspect is some of the best universities in India can establish their campuses outside India. So they'll be now allowed to establish their campuses and offer courses for students. More importantly, the top 100 students, I mean, this is one way where top 100 universities in the world can now establish their campuses in India. Presently, there is no legal framework, but the government is working on providing a legal framework for establishing campuses of foreign university campuses in India. And government of India is going to facilitate them. And therefore, this will be a major changes in the higher education area, which will actually see revolutionary changes in the coming years, and which will completely transform the higher education landscape in India. And that is where, with the experience with the best universities in Germany, we should take this opportunity to build bridges and take our relationships in Indo-German cooperation in higher education to the next level. I always keep saying that we should be aiming and increasing our cooperation to a next level, especially in the internationalization of education is one such aspect. And government is working on the legal framework facilitating this activities. Both researchers and the students, there will be exchange. Researchers from foreign countries can go to India, and Indian researchers can go to foreign countries, and students exchange also. This is being talked about in internationalization schemes. Having said this, I would say that NISARG has a lot of, I would say, responsibilities, and we will look forward to the deliberations and the recommendations from NISARG in this scheme. And I also look forward to receiving the help and support from NISARG when we establish a larger network of Indo-German researchers. And as Dr. Madhanlalji has said, definitely at the first available opportunity, we will have a meeting either in Berlin or I come there. But definitely NISARG will be an important component in our endeavor when we actually have Indo-German relations, especially in higher education, science, technology, because your opinion, your views will definitely be taken into consideration. And I will be very open and happy to receive any suggestions. Feel free to contact me anytime with any issue regarding science, technology, innovation, and higher education. Not only this, I mean, if you have any scientific issues also, I'll be very happy to discuss with this. I take this opportunity and thank you, Dr. Bala, Dr. Madhanlalji, Dr. Dhingra for giving me this opportunity. And I welcome all the participants to this important event on 5th September. And I look forward to the deliberations of this particular meeting. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Dr. Bala.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Madhu. I think it's a very important point you have deliberated, and it's very nice the first time you are meeting because of the issues. Because I know personally I was involved also in the plan that you have to do a tour in North Germany. You want to come to Hanover, you wanted to go to Hamburg, but many places. Unfortunately, it was not possible, but that is good thing. Before I would request our keynote speaker for today, Dr. Rajnish, to start. May I request the audience and also the participants, if you have any direct questions or anything you would like to say as remarks, or you would like to deliberate with the science counselor, maybe you can do so right now. Maybe we can take few minutes, and if not the case, then we can do it at the end. But if anybody has something on the points he has spoken right now, we can also take up the discussion right now. Anybody would like to speak on that? Hello.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nadikan, for the
Mayank, please, yeah.
Well, thank you for the excellent introduction to what is going on in India at the moment and how it can affect German-Indian academic relations. And I also appreciate very much that you also are willing to invite the Indian academicians or German academicians working with India over here at the current time to get involved into it. Is there something within the next 1 year or so where you would like us to start preparing? What we can do already now to help increase the level of cooperation between India and Germany regarding science and academics?
So thank you, Dr. Mayank. I would like to say in the next 1 or 2 weeks, I will be approaching each one of you and the list which Dr. Bala and Dr. Madanlalji will provide me, all the NISARG list with some important program, which I can't discuss right now, but I will definitely get back to each one of you who's in the list, which actually it is exactly the point which you are talking about, how we can improve the relations, how we can actually help India with the knowledge, with the skills which you have attained. And I will definitely get back to you on this, because there is some program which has been envisaged, which is in the planning, but which I don't want to go public right now. Very important program. But we will definitely get back to you. And definitely, once again, I say your inputs, your I just say, I can say guidance and support will be very much needed in this regard, not only for Indo-German relations, but also to how to improve our conditions in India and how to actually leverage whatever we have got the skill sets here and take them, some of them, back to India. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I look forward to it.
Thanks, Madhu. Thanks, Mayank. So anyone would like to take this opportunity? Okay, if not, then let's move on. Today's keynote speaker would be Dr. Rajnish Tiwari, and congratulations, Rajnish, also that if I say so, because it's nothing secret. Recently, you have been awarded habilitation, which you did with TU Hamburg, which is TU Hamburg. It's a very special thing, and thanks a lot for that, and that you have spent your time here. And when I say thanks, it's also because somebody of Indian origin, and it's certainly we all take pride in doing this habilitation, because I know that how difficult it is, and in a German system, very high quality. So I think it's really a pride moment for all of us. Congrats for that. And now, thanks a lot for being here today, for referring in this NISARG. And as CG sir said, it will be nice also that you start your talk with the coining of the word NISARG, so that everybody gets to it. It's a very nice thing. And as a world expert and renowned expert on the so-called affordable excellence, as you say, in technology, that technology for all is a mantra you have been practicing also in your research. And so I think this is a very, very suitable topic for today. And as I said in the start, also a big thanks to you for being part of the very, very initial meeting as well, and being there in putting things together for the NISARG. And Dr. Madhu, actually, I would like to just say one point, as you said, certainly this is, you are absolutely right. I think we should never, spend our various resources, let it be time or money, on reinventing the wheel. That's a very clear point. And that's why I think NISARG being a very loose structure, and it's basically putting things together. It's like a think tank that is over there. It can fit with any of the initiatives that the embassy is, looking at in bringing all the scientists, researchers, Germany in one platform, who have really a passion to support India back, and also to, look at the ways of transfer of technology, transfer of knowledge. So we are absolutely with you, and we are at your service on any front where you need for it, and we will be there to share anything that we would have on respect to the data, and in terms of the names and the structure, so that it can be very well utilized for the common good, which we all have today. Thanks a lot, Madhu, on that. And the floor is yours, Rajnish Bhai. We all look forward to and very excited to hear from you today. Please.
Thank you very much, Pala. I hope you can all hear me quite well. Thanks. So, first of all, Shri Madan Raigar ji, Shri Madhusudan Reddy ji, Dr. Bala Bhai, Mayank Bhai, all other friends, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, a very good afternoon, and thank you very much for being here. In fact, I'm really humbly privileged and honored to be here today and to speak with you about my research. But before I do so, let me also say I'm really thankful to you, Bala, that you took the initiative together with Shri Raigar at that time, and with support of us, all of us who you named, of course, to come up with this initiative. And Raigar has asked me also how I got this idea of NISARG. So obviously we were looking for an acronym. And what we thought about was that we should create something which allows us to be as natural as possible in our interaction. Because if we would be creating some new structures, new organization, again, it would be difficult to sustain it. So if we have an informal group of people who meet with each other, who interact with each other, who come up with their research, who exchange ideas, and then maybe it will support all of us. So this was one of the ideas, to have things in our natural settings without creating new structures. And there we connected to the idea of the German-Indian Roundtable, which Shri Raigar mentioned earlier, because that is also one example where we already have a very good setup, which works very well, but it does not create new structures. It does not hinder us into doing things, no hurdles. Second, and maybe even more importantly, it also gives a message to work together in terms of sustainability of our nature, for the societal well-being, for the environmental well-being, and for the economic well-being. So this was one of the initial ideas that came to my mind when I was working with all of us together on creating an acronym for our initiative. And this beautiful term comes from Sanskrit, and I simply loved it. And when I mentioned it or suggested it to others, there was uniform support for it from all of us. So that's how this came into being. And I'm really happy that we have this meeting today. I thank you all for organizing this, for organizing it today on the Teachers' Day, where we can be also thankful. I would like to extend my greetings and my gratefulness to everyone who is engaged in teaching on this particular day. And there are two reasons for it, or maybe two aspects to it. First of all, obviously to all teachers who are in the profession of teaching, because they are engaged in nation building, they're engaged in building of the society. But it does not have to be limited to people who are formally in the teaching profession. I think we all learn in our day-to-day life from many people, from many living beings. And from whoever we can learn is a teacher to us. And this day shows us to be grateful to people who have taught us something, whether or not they are formally in that profession. And the second aspect, in my opinion, is that it is also a very good reminder, and also in keeping with the new national education policy that Reddy mentioned earlier, what we need to do even more, even better, especially in India, but also everywhere, obviously, as people who are engaged in teaching profession, like Mayank is here, what we need to do is, a teacher is a subject matter expert. We have to encourage questioning. Our students have to question people. They have to be experimenting. They do not have to simply accept what we say as a fact, as a truth, but they are very, very much welcome to go into the reasoning. And that's how technological advancement comes. That's how societal advancement comes, because we go on accumulating new knowledge. So I'm thankful for this opportunity to be able to present my also research. And I think Raigar mentioned that I work on this frugal innovation aspect, and this is very close to my heart. And I think Madhusudan ji, you have really laid a very fertile ground for what I want to share afterwards with you. And before I go into that, I would also like to say thanks to Shri Raigar ji, the entire team of the Consulate, especially Parminder ji, who has been very active also in promoting this event. So thank you very much to all of you, also to you, Balabhai. Before I now finally begin with my presentation. And I would now share some of my slides with you. And since we are running a bit behind in the scheduling, so let's see. I hope that I can speak with you and do not really go beyond the stipulated time unnecessarily. So what I want to speak with you today about is digital transformation and affordable excellence in the post-corona world. And the topic is need for affordable excellence in the post-corona world and the enabling role of digital transformation in it. And as you can see, there are two aspects to it, or rather three. First of all, we need what we call is affordable excellence. This is how we define frugal innovations, also frugal solutions. And the enhanced need in the post-corona world. So what has changed in the world in the post-corona time, and why it is even more required today than it already was prior to, let's say, November or October 2019. And how digital transformation can play a role into it. So this is what I want to speak with you today about. And before I begin, we see that digital transformation can enable affordable excellence. Our very session today proves the point. We are connected with Zoom, with YouTube. People are able to participate in this event, even though they may not be or may not have been able to join us physically before we were engaging in this sort of webinars. So it has allowed us to interact with each other, to have this excellence of knowledge shared amongst us, even though we do not have to now move personally, physically to those places, which would have been maybe very costly, which would not have been maybe possible. And also, most importantly, via YouTube, for instance, we have a recording. And even if we have today a small gathering, I think later on this interaction of ours is going to be available to everyone on this planet for a very long time. And that way our thoughts can be shared even later on. And I think this indicates that digital transformation can enable affordable excellence in a very, very good way. And I believe the NISARG channel that has been already mentioned about over the course of time, and we have new speeches, new talks, it will create a content database which would be attractive for people around the world, not just for our two countries, India and Germany. And this is also, I think, one of the ideas that I should be mentioning about NISARG when we were talking about it in the beginning, the inception. The idea was that also we should be making our research visible. When we make our research visible to the local host community here, it allows us to engage in new cooperation. It allows us to showcase the contribution that Indian academics, researchers, and scientists are making to this society, and it would enhance the cooperation. So this is the framework. I've been already introduced, so I would not go into that, but maybe just one thing here. Those of you who might be interested, we just published a new paper which is called Opportunities of Frugality in the Post-Corona Era. It is available in open access and can be downloaded from this website. So if anyone is interested, please feel free to read it. And if for some reason it does not work, please feel free to get back to me on this. And maybe one of the final points in terms of what we do, we established a Center for Frugal Innovation at our university in 2013, and we engage in research and policy guidance. We have been doing projects for the German government, for the Austrian government, and for many other bodies. We have worked together with industries, developing solutions, also in the Indo-German context, and we teach frugal innovation. So this is what we do, and this research has been quite productive, as you can see here, in terms of book publications. Almost every year since then, we have been coming up with some book publications that are connected with affordable excellence, and a new book is being planned for early 2021, which would hopefully take the discourse on frugal innovation to the next level. So also in this research field, we are looking for taking the discourse to the next level and showcase how digital transformation is a key enabler of affordable excellence to solve those problems in rural areas and semi-urban areas without compromising on quality. So this is the work that we do, and Raigar ji mentioned, thankfully, the work that we have also done in collaboration with the Consulate General of India. We have been working together in collaboration, and we have looked at sectors like food industry and wind power energy, wind power sector, and also the role of India's lead market in promoting frugal solutions. So before I present the agenda for you today, one of the issues that we see in digital transformation, there is a paradox of perception. On the one hand, we see that everywhere we talk about digital transformation, it is required, we need to engage into it. At the same time, companies complain that they need to invest a lot of money and they do not have it. In Germany alone, there is a need for, reportedly, a need for annual investments worth 40 billion euros a year, which amounts to something like 3.3% of annual revenues in firms. And as you can imagine, for many companies, it is very difficult to invest such amount in something where they do not know what it is good for. Many people are not sure whether digital transformation is a fashion, a fad, or it is something which they really need to engage into. So the true or the potential benefits of digitalization remain unclear to many. Many times it is associated with superfluous and or expensive, nice to have solutions like smart homes. And you see here, many people, when they think of digital transformation, they think of smart homes where a refrigerator is nagging you like your wife and saying, I told you to pick up the milk on your way home. Why didn't you bring it? Or don't you listen to anything I say? So, so this is like sometimes the perception that people have. And so far, there is little discussion in research of contribution to life standard enhancing and life-saving solutions in an affordable and sustainable way. So this is the missing link, especially in the economic and management research. There has not been so much discussion of how digital transformation can be used for achieving both of the solutions, affordability and sustainability, while retaining your excellence. And this is the objective for my talk today, to discuss with you, to present those research and to see what sort of things can be done, where the research is leading us to. So the agenda that I have today is I would like to discuss with you the challenges of the post-corona world, why it is being required today even more than it was being done already a few months back. Then I would like to discuss with you what is meant by the term digital transformation, because we used it almost in an inflationary way. So what is it really that we can say this constitutes digital transformation, and what are its drivers? How it can enable affordable excellence, and then I will conclude with some outlooks and presenting research avenues that are attractive for people who are engaged in research. So we all know that the great lockdown has brought our economies to a standstill. You see here a photo that I shot in the end of March. Our famous Hamburger Meile, which is otherwise really almost overcrowded. There are so many people who are moving around, who are going for shopping, and here in the middle of the day, just nothing, standstill, shops are closed. What does that mean? Where does it lead us to? And this you can see here, despite the International Monetary Fund's expression of optimism. They have in fact said that in 2021 we might return to positive growth in GDP. But the economic prospects are in no ways really sure, no ways really certain. You see here, and this is a very recent figure which has been published by the chief economist of IMF, Dr. Geeta Gopinath, and it shows the quarterly growth of some major economies. And you see, we in India have, according to these figures, even a negative growth in GDP to the tune of almost 26%. Of course, you can have some explanation, maybe like India has a stronger share of informal economy, which is not captured here, whatever, but it shows the extent to which we are affected by this current crisis. And we are not alone into it. You see, in Great Britain, it went down by 20.4%, Spain 18%, and USA 9%. So there has been a severe deflation that has taken place in the major economies worldwide. In fact, if you look at it in the annual, from an annual perspective, already in June, and it might have become worse by now, in June, the IMF estimated that this crisis is 50 times more severe than the financial crisis of 2009. So you can imagine, like we all remember how difficult it was, how problematic it has been in 2009. And it is 50 times harder than in 2009, and it might have become 60 times now, because in April, the IMF estimated it would be 30 times more severe, and by June, they were saying it would be 50 times more severe. A side effect of it is that resources which are being allocated to fight COVID-19, they are often at the cost of other expenditures which would have been planned, other investments which would have been made in ensuring societal welfare. So what it necessarily is going to mean is that at other places, there would be a crunch of resources. And in tourism alone, there was a report which said worldwide 120 million jobs would have been lost already. And another example from the sub-Saharan Africa, where in progress in terms of real per capita GDP have been set back by almost 10 years. So we see that our country is affected, major economies are affected, Germany is affected, African nations are affected. It's a major challenge worldwide. Economically, we have to find ways to have products, have solutions which are affordable. So this is one of the major reasons why we would need frugal solutions. This is like where affordable excellence comes into play now. We need affordable solutions. And there are very good examples of frugal engineering. We know from Germany where SMEs are responding creatively to the coronavirus crisis. There was a report from KfW, but also from India. I have some examples here which are related to measures which are being taken to fight corona. And India has produced some wonderful examples. And maybe one example that I could highlight is which has been created by the IIT Delhi. And it is the world's most affordable diagnostic kit for coronavirus. It only costs 650 rupees. So there's something like maybe less than 8 euros. I think in Germany, if you were doing a test today, it would cost you close to 200 euros. And how do they do it? That's the beautiful part of frugal innovation as seen in affordable excellence. What they do is they have found a novel way to identify unique regions in the virus, because coronavirus is not something entirely new. As a family, it exists. There are viruses which are already known to us. But the new one has certain unique regions. So what the IIT Delhi solution does is it does not look for all tests and does not try to prove whether it's real corona or not. It has found out what are the unique regions. And was simply and directly for identifying those regions. And with that, they have been able to reduce the costs significantly and also to reduce the time of identification. So I think it takes only, if I'm not mistaken, about 1 hour to find the results. So these are examples how frugal innovations can help us in coping with the challenges of the post-corona society. And Madhusudan ji already mentioned global societal challenges which existed even prior to the corona crisis. We have sustainable development goals like ensuring that there is no poverty, there is an affordable access to healthcare, there is a quality education, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy. So these are major challenges. Ensuring the food security in the world is a tremendous challenge in a world with growing population, and it does not have anything to do with corona. This challenge already existed earlier, and it might be only getting worse. So we need good quality solutions that can be done in a manner which is affordable to us. And in fact, I think Madhusudan ji was mentioning about communicable and non-communicable diseases and how we need to find good solutions to that, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases. For that, we need solutions. But I don't want to say even more importantly, but we need solutions for communicable diseases. Some of you might not be aware of, when I was doing research, I found out that the number of people who die due to a communicable disease amongst all deaths should be normally very low in a country with a fairly good health system. So in Europe, I think it's somewhere close to 3% people who die out of a corona, not corona, but because of a communicable disease. That share is as low as about 3%. Also in India, we are in a single-digit figure. But in sub-Saharan Africa, it is as high as around 64%. So if you get a malaria, if you get tuberculosis, etc., then you have no chance to survive, almost no chance. So what happens? This is going to create a humanitarian crisis. This is going to create a law and order crisis. It is going to create refugee crisis, because who would want to be living in that place if your healthcare, if your well-being, if your education is not ensured? So I think frugal innovations in the sense of affordable excellence, they are a must for our society, for a sustainable living over the course of time. And this term, affordable excellence, which I'm using to refer to frugal innovations, it is a relatively new term in the context of innovation management. And as far as I know, it's Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, former Director General of CSIR, who coined this term. And he defined it as saying doing more from less for more. And it's a beautiful explanation. Normally in economics and business management, we learn you have got two options. Either you can minimize the use of your input resources, or you can maximize your output. So basically, either you define what is the output that you want to achieve, and then you try to reduce the requisite inputs as much as possible, so you minimize that. Or you try to achieve from a given set of resources as much as possible. But you cannot say normally, I want to reduce the number of inputs as much as possible while at the same time increasing my output by as much as possible, because then you are dealing with two things that are unknown. But he said, this is actually what we want to do, doing more from less, for more people. So this is one of the ideas that has been done, and I think we have today wonderful examples of frugal solutions where we can prove that this can work, and I will show you some of the examples afterwards. And another approach which has been used in the context of this term affordable excellence is the Singapore model in healthcare, which says we want to achieve first world care with cost control. So what Singapore has been able to achieve is something actually almost unbelievable. Singapore has one of the lowest set of costs in terms of per capita costs for ensuring healthcare around the world in the group of developed economies. I think it's somewhere like $5,000 per person. And if you compare to it, then it's just a fraction of what a country like USA or even Germany spends for ensuring a level of healthcare which is comparable to what Singapore achieves, or sometimes it has even a better level of healthcare or life expectancy than many or most of the countries in the group of advanced nations. So what does Singapore do? Again, Singapore has ensured the use of telemedicine. They have come up with some very innovative policies, keeping in mind affordability while striving for excellence. And based on my analysis, based on my research and our institute, I've come up with a slightly new approach, and I'll explain it briefly afterwards, where I say we have to combine a couple of things. So I will explain it briefly. What I say is, traditionally, affordability has been seen as something unidimensional. When we talk about affordability, we normally only talk about monetary affordability. We say whether something is cost effective. But what we need in today's world is that affordability should not be only about the monetary capacity to pay. This is one sutra that we have to keep in mind all the time. Why? And I will explain. Obviously, financial tenability, affordability would remain critically important for all of us. A solution and innovation must be affordable in terms of costs and price. But equally, it has to be affordable for the society. It would not be particularly good if we were creating, let's say, weapons and drugs which were just getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So the state, the government, has a legitimate interest in keeping the prices of certain products which are detrimental to the welfare of the society artificially high by imposing taxes, for instance. So a frugal solution that we are talking about should be justifiable for the society. Madhusudan ji talked about infrastructural issues in rural India, for instance. So a frugal solution has to be compatible with the given infrastructure in a place, in the use context, because it does not help me if I'm living in such a place and then some wonderful solution is created which I can purchase rather cost effectively, but afterwards to run it, to maintain it, I need to invest so much money in the infrastructure that it would not help me at all. I can give you an example from rural India in terms of solar panels. My parents live in rural India, and when we spoke about creating or purchasing some solar panels for them, they say, yeah, we can purchase it, but then afterwards we do not have anyone in our vicinity of, let's say, 150 kilometers where there is a mechanic who could repair them. So if we do not have an ecosystem that supports it, then it will not be affordable to people. And finally, but very, very importantly, the product has to be in sync with the ecological, environmental sustainability. Because if it is not ensured, then this product, this solution would not be supportive for the society. It would not be affordable in the long run to any one of us. So affordability must be seen in a multidimensional way. And then the second part comes now, affordable excellence. Many times what happens is, especially if you are an engineer, you want to create the best possible technical solution. But then we forget what is an appropriate solution. What is it that we are looking for? So we have to keep in mind that excellence is not merely about hyper technological complexity or the maximum possible technological performance. It is about an effective solution, a highly effective solution in a resource efficient manner. So what is an innovation? An innovation is a solution to a problem. So that means our solutions should be able to solve the problem in a resource efficient manner as effectively as possible. So this is something which the engineers would need to also really keep in mind when they are driving, when they are creating solutions. Okay, so that was the part about challenges of the post-corona world and the need for affordability. Then I come to discuss what do we mean when we say digital transformation. There is sometimes you might have noticed there are two different terms. Many people say digitalization, some people say digitization. Of late, I see very often people speaking about digitization. And in Germany, we use the term Digitalisierung, that is digitalization, that does not differentiate. But actually, there is a great lot of difference between the two. While digitization refers to taking an analog process and changing it to its digital form without any different in kind changes to the process itself. So for instance, we have an archive of documents, and then digitization would mean that we scan them and create a digital archive. It's great, it's useful, it's very, very useful. For instance, with Google Books, we can now have access to books which would not have been possible, let's say, in remote areas. There are only 5 examples around the world, and now you have got access to it. So it's wonderful, but it's not enough. What happens is, like, if your processes in the past were already, let's say, bad, and if you implement that bad process digitally, the process does not become better. Now, in comparison to that, digitalization means the use of digital technologies to change a business model and to provide new opportunities of revenues and value production, value creation. So it is the process of moving to a digital business, for instance, creating a web-based business model, offering your services worldwide. Think of an Airbnb or car sharing. It would not be possible without digitalization. It's not something which existed in the analogous world, that people are giving their apartments on rent anywhere to people whom they do not know, to tourists who are coming over for a couple of days. So this whole model would not work without digitalization. So with digital transformation, what we mean is the application of digital capabilities to processes, products, and assets to improve efficiency, enhance customer value, manage risk, and uncover new opportunities of monetization. And you can see on the right side of the screen many examples which show business models that work entirely on digitalization. So like Google, Spotify, Infosys is basically a good example from India, N26, this digital bank. And I have put also a few examples from India. For instance, For Us is a great example how frugal solutions can be created in healthcare, or this company called QLeap Academy is providing education on a digital-based model where you can do your modules, and those courses can be offered worldwide. So Amazon and such companies, large companies, smaller companies, companies from the developed world, companies from the developing economies, they are engaged in this sort of research, and then they are working on it. So just a second, there was, I think, some message on chat. Okay, I think it's not for me. So what does, where does this opportunity come from? What we can see is that we live in a global connected world. We see that today, or like in a couple of months back, in 2020, there were 3.5 billion smartphones around the world. And 45% of world population today owns a smartphone. And how this number has increased, you can see in 2016, it was only 34%, but in a growing population, there has been an increasing number of smartphones. So it's even double such development. Number of mobile phones has increased. 62% of world population owns at least a mobile phone, if not a smartphone. Number of mobile connections. If we look to India, we see about 840 million people would be using mobile internet by 2020. and up from 27% of population in 2017 to 60% of population in 2022. And if you keep in mind the demographic structure of India, where we have a very large percentage of young people, and to see the people who are maybe well above 80 or so, then we see practically everyone is going to have a mobile internet connection. So this is providing us a unique opportunity to provide solutions that are based on digitalization and mobile internet. That way we can reach to many, many people. The second feature driving this entire trend is that we have a very high level of affordable performance. Think of it, in 1969, the rocket that brought Neil Armstrong to the moon had a CPU speed of 2 megahertz and a random access memory of 4 kilobyte. Already in 1983-85, the Nintendo Entertainment System had a comparable performance. And I have selected an example here of S6, which came out in 2017. It's a very affordable gadget, has a random access memory of 3 gigabyte, and the CPU speed just on nothing to compare. It is said that today each one of us is carrying a mobile phone, which has a higher level of computing power than the computing power of the entire world in the 1970s. In the 1970s, 1 GB of hard disk had a cost of $1 billion. And just imagine if we were having a time machine and we could go back into that period carrying our mobile phones and all the hard disk space that we have, we could be multi-billionaires. So that shows how it has become affordable while ensuring enhancing performance. Just in the 70s, a storage capacity of 5 MB had required a computer which was like having 1 ton. It weighed 1 ton and measured 16 square feet. So digitalization has become really like the digital power, digital computing power has become affordable. And some of you might have seen it, a very new development from the previous month. We might be moving towards Internet of Light. In a test, they found that they achieved a speed of 178 terabits a second. Could download the entire library of Netflix within a second. It works with light. So this is going to allow us very new avenues of transporting data, driverless cars, etc., etc. So many new applications are going to become available to us, which were not possible so far. So digitalization has received an enabling role. First of all, it is widely in use. It's pervasive. It's having a pervasive presence. I've shown the figures how it is prevalent in all corners of the world. It's capable of ongoing technical development, improvement, and it is enabling complementary innovations in the sectors of its application. So based on this general purpose technology, we are able to create new solutions. So digitalization is turning into a general purpose technology, and this technology is enabling some more specific solutions. So mobile solutions are, let's say, like we have anytime, anywhere, always on solutions with simple authentication methods, which can provide us localized solutions, context specific, depending on where you are, you can get your information on that. So what we are seeing is there is a shift from a mobile dominated world to a society which is dominated by artificial intelligence platforms. It can help us identify new needs, which we ourselves are not aware of, so latent needs. And it allows us to create new solutions, for example, in telemedicine, in predictive maintenance, in instant loan approvals. So to give you one example in telemedicine, a new solution came up which shows you can have an X-ray of, a CT scan of a person who is having pneumonia, a lung infection. And within 3 seconds, the algorithm can tell you whether it's a normal pneumonia or whether it's caused by the coronavirus. So you don't need to have a qualified doctor going over it who would need almost 20 minutes to analyze it. And then in rural areas, semi-urban areas, in the night time, you do not have those doctors. But the software can work round the clock. So that way we can have really affordable solutions in preventive maintenance. And digital platforms such as Uber, Airbnb, or Amazon, what they do is they enable firms to compete using ordinary, readily available resources. So everyone can access Google Maps. Everyone can find internet-based technologies which are available for free, YouTube, etc. So using ordinary, readily available resources at lower cost, we can provide higher value to customers. Think of Ola and Uber in India, how things have become better while the price has been reduced. So they can also enable entrepreneurial activity by fostering asset-light business models. So if you want to work for Ola, or if you want to set up an Ola or an Oyo, I believe, for hotels, you don't need to own all those properties. You just need to have a network. You need to find access to those people. So an Airbnb does not own all those apartments. Uber does not own all those cars, but they still can provide you great service. So asset-light business models, and they can have a disruptive character. I would skip here, keeping in mind the time and the slide to explain it, but we see that consumers are becoming prosumers. They might be creating value on their own, and it is no more, as in the past, a unidirectional flow of services and solutions, and in the reverse direction than the monetary flow. It has become bidirectional between the producers and the consumers, or between the prosumers. So we are doing some research, and we saw digitalization, for instance, here in the wind power sector. Yeah. Sorry, was there something? Okay. Thank you. So there have been efficiency gains, better services, better maintenance, because before something can actually break down, we get information it might be needing some repair work. So predictive maintenance, that is helping to reduce costs. And that way, with different sort of models, subscription-based models, premium, free services, the possibility to have microtransactions, it is creating a much, much greater level of affordability. You can keep different versions of same products. You don't need to have your factories and your warehouses. Many products can be sold at any time. You can sell a student's version, a professional version, a normal version for different prices by modularizing products. So that way, again, different pricing strategies are possible with digital transformation. So it is allowing to acquire new customers, save costs, improve agility and flexibility, and so on and so forth. And I will give you one or two examples for those frugal solutions, how it can work. They can be observed in different sectors, in different places of the world. I have some examples from India here, and it can be in B2C or B2B markets. So one of the very well-known examples of frugal solutions is the electrocardiogram called MEC-I, which was developed by GE in India, in Bangalore. A normal ECG machine in the US costs close to $10,000, whereas the MEC-I in India costs $535. It is portable, easy to use, having few buttons, robust, and can deal with electricity outages, dust, etc. in a very, very good way. They use commercially available printers. They don't develop everything, in-house, using very few buttons, but they use the same software as a platform. So the algorithm that works behind it is the same. And it allows doctors, for instance, to carry it with them to rural areas. So the quality standards have gone up while the prices have gone down. And similarly, there are very good examples in healthcare, and those of you who might be interested, they can look, for example, at the website of the Anjani Mashilkar Foundation for seeing these great solutions. Like here, a credit card-sized heart monitor, which you can carry with yourself if you are a heart patient. and it can connect you in case of any emergency with the doctor immediately. Or here a handheld non-invasive anemia screener, or here a Trinetra solution, which is from the company called For Us. It's a portable, non-invasive, low-cost device for pre-screening of major eye diseases like cataract or glaucoma, cornea, etc. And how they work, I would not go now into details, but using digital solutions, telemedicine, they can connect you to the best of the people, best of the experts in the country, but the solution can be operated by a technician. So that way it ensures a better standard of living, a better level of healthcare while reducing costs. Another example is eye breast exam, which is for early detection of cancer. It is not having any radiation, provides results within a few minutes through a mobile app. The cost of a single scan is between $1 and $4, whereas the cost of a regular mammogram is more than $20. In those countries, if you look at Germany or Western Europe, America, then the cost would be even close to $100. And the technician requires only 4 to 8 hours of training, and then it can work. So what basically digitalization or digital transformation does is in product creation, product development, if you look at the value chain, which includes design and development, performance, production, distribution, customer orientation, and sustainability, it helps you create a compact design. It helps you reduce the number of required physical parts, so you reduce the use of resources. Use of easily available gadgets can allow you to collaborate with the best people around the world, within and outside the firm, within and outside your own nation. It reduces your production steps. It can help you with storage and logistics by using digital channels. So in many, many ways, digitalization and digital transformation helps you to achieve affordable excellence. And coming to the final part, frugality and frugal innovations can be seen as vehicles of affordable excellence. So those innovative products, services, processes, technologies, or business models, a very encompassing term, can achieve affordable excellence if they provide high level of affordability, as I discussed earlier, the multidimensional understanding, high target specificity, so not creating a solution where one size fits all. Rather than that, we create solutions for a very specific use context. And that way we can also have an effective resource utilization. So it fits to individual customer aspirations. You can create a solution which is very specific to one person's needs, but it remains affordable because it minimizes the use of material and financial resources in the entire value chain. So a frugal innovation or a frugal solution has a pathway which has parameters of cost pressure, regulatory standards, need for sustainability and digitalization, and that help us achieve a very customer-specific value proposition while using minimum resources and having an affordable cost of ownership. And for that, we need to come up with designs that are frugal, that eliminate avoidable waste, avoidable over-engineering. And this can only work in a corporate culture where frugality is accepted, where you do not come with the idea and say, these are my costs, this is my profit margin, so this is the price. Rather, you have to see what is the target price, what is the margin you require, and price minus margin is cost. So you know you have to work with target costing. So that sort of pathways need to be achieved in companies. Finally, some research avenues and the challenges that need to be mastered. There are regulatory concerns, for example, data safety and privacy, and China is providing us many examples where even the state is engaging in practices which are really not conducive to data privacy and safety. So it can be companies, non-state actors, and it can be state actors. So those concerns have to be addressed. Then digitalization is unto itself not the perfect solution. Every time you do a Google search, you cause 1 gram of CO2 emission. In fact, there is a website which shows you how much CO2 emission is being done by Google servers since the time you call a website. And I tried it a couple of times, and it shows within 10 seconds, the Google servers have emitted something like 5,000 kilograms of CO2. So that has to be kept in mind. We have to find an architecture which is more efficient, more effective. What are issues like rebound effects, planned obsolescence? So there are many, many research avenues that have to be addressed, that have to be taken into account. But keeping everything in mind, we can still say it is better than the non-digital form, where we have to use even more resources. So using that, I think we can solve or make a contribution to solve many of the global societal challenges. And what we need at the end of the day is affordable green excellence. No one is saying when we talk about frugal innovation that the solution should not be excellent. We need excellence, we need the ecological sustainability, and we need affordability. So I said in the beginning that Mashelkar ji has said more from less for more. I said from excellence from less for all and anyone. So we are not just saying more and more, we are saying excellent from less, and not just for more people, but really for any and everyone. And I believe that the Corona crisis, this is the positive side of it, if one can put it like that. I know it's a pandemic and it's a very difficult topic, but I recently came across this thing. It said, it says, who led the digital transformation of your company? Was it the CEO, was it the CTO, or was it COVID-19? And I believe in many, many cases, it's COVID-19, because even in our own day-to-day life, our universities were not using Zoom. They were not holding webinars, but the crisis forced them to go this way. And now we have a much greater acceptance of digital solutions, and it is upon us now to use them for creating affordable excellence. With this, I would like to say thank you very much for listening, and I hope I did not take away too much time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Rajnish Bhai. I think already the chat box is flowing with fantastic comments. I think which is a very genuine comment, and which I also wrote that we only know you this way. And as a teacher also, today we are all your students. So you had that opportunity that we also have learned a lot of things. And of course, I had the privilege to hear some of the points during your habilitation thesis as well. So it's really, really very much to the ground, so that as CG sir rightly put in the chat box, like layman and women, we can really understand what is really all about it, and it's for the really common good. And as you rightly put at the last, it's with less resources for all and anyone at the end of the day. So the so-called only who has gets everything is the point which has to be broken. And thank you very much for that. And I am pretty sure there are going to be some questions and some point of view and discussion. So I think just not for the want of time, I think we should not restrict that discussions at this point, because it's a very, very important and very interesting topic. So may I kindly request the participants on the floor, if you would like to take up any points to Rajnish Bhai, or if you want to express any of your experiences or anything that you have read or come across, please do so. I think this is also part of this. The NISARG is to deliberate and discuss and sharing of the thoughts. Please go ahead. Who would like to start?
So
yes, Madhu sir, please go ahead.
So excellent talk, Dr. Tiwari. I mean, I would compliment you for taking us through the concept of frugal innovation. And I had the privilege of attending to some of the talks of Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar when I was in CSIR setup as a student. And I'm very happy that you have now taken that his ideas forward, and such an excellent talk. One thing I wanted to say in this regard is, I mean, as NISARG and as teachers, as researchers, one important point which from Government of India's point of view is skill development and employment generation. How we can skill, because skill, reskill and upskill. This is the mantra which the Prime Minister has mooted in the recent conversation with some of the people. We need to skill, reskill and upskill. That is one aspect. Skill development is an important aspect. And second important aspect is how we can generate employment, especially in the post-COVID situation. So these are the 2 points. I mean, I am sure that researchers like you are focusing on it, and if some concrete guidelines can be, if they may be already available, but if there are any such things, I mean, if you can send it to me, I'll be very happy to have a look into it, and if you can dwell on these points. Thank you.
Okay, Madhusudan, thank you very much. First of all, Balabhai, thank you very much for your comments and for the encouragement from everyone in the chat. So thank you very much for that. And Madhusudan ji, yes, I have had the privilege of meeting Dr. Mashelkar a couple of times and holding our discussions on frugal innovation. So many of the ideas have been fine-tuned also in discussion with him and with Professor Arvind Chinchude, who works with Dr. Mashelkar. So glad to know that you also had this connection. Now coming to your question, an interesting thing could be there is a project which we are working upon right now. It's an Erasmus Plus project which is called Vision. And it is about envisioning the future of creativity, innovation and entrepreneurship. And especially in the light of digital transformation. And our university, or rather me personally also, are working on a subtopic which is related to digital transformation in the education sector. So I would be glad if you want to get some more information, because there we are actually looking into topics like this, how the world of the future of work is changing itself, and how we can create more entrepreneurship, new forms of work. So using creativity, using innovation and promoting entrepreneurship. So it would be my pleasure to interact with you on that afterwards. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Rajnish bhai. So any others who would like to speak on that occasion or raise any points, please feel free. Okay, so let's have a brief look at the NISARG channel and also a few minutes of the inaugural video, and the rest then would be taken. Raja, can you please share the screen and on it?
Yes, sir.
Very warm welcome to the viewers of the NISARG channel. NISARG, the name is coined in such a way that NISARG is basically, literally, if you want to mean as nature, but also it's an Indian word in that sense, coining. So we thought it will be also a very good combination. So network on Indian scientists, academics, researchers in Germany. So that's the abbreviation of NISARG. At the onset, the team would like to express deepest gratitude to Shri Madan Raigar, Honorable Consul General, Consulate General of India in Hamburg, who has been very key and instrumental in realizing this initiative, was very encouraging for this idea, and very forthcoming and supported in all ways. So we say big thanks to him. And also I would like to say thanks to Professor Mayank Golpelwar from Hochschule Bremen, Mr. Faizan from Kiel, and Dr. Rajnish Tiwari from TU Hamburg. To maintain the sustainability, we could bring a NISARG channel, video channel, through which we regularly interview and about the new Indian origin researchers, academicians, scientists in Germany, and also other international scientists, academics, and researchers who are in Germany working closely with India-related project, which is true to the essence of NISARG. And this video channel will be updated regularly.
NISARG means nature, and we are doing something also which is which has a component of environmental friendliness, which brings scientific contribution in conjunction with the societal challenges that we have and being in sync with nature. So first of all, I'm really glad that we use digital possibilities to connect to each other, but also in a way which is very environmental friendly. And thanks for this brief introduction. As you know, like when I started my research, the globalization of research and development was an upcoming topic, and we could observe things that were happening on the ground in India. And then I went into this field looking at what makes companies go to a place like India, and can India become an innovation hub? And then we were investigating the innovation system of India and looking at different context factors. In what ways can India become a major player in the global innovation value chain? And this gave rise to something which the BMBF, the German Ministry of Education and Research, was very interested. By the way, like that led us to our core research field of today, which is frugal innovation, so which we define as affordable green excellence. And this frugal innovation topic caught the attention of the BMBF, and they invited me to be a part of their steering committee or the advisory board for the funding round of a program called ITA, which is Innovation and Technology Analysis. So I was a member of that funding round 2014 to 17, and we supported the projects in the field of new global innovation pathways. So I continue to be associated with them, or for instance, we did a similar study for the Austrian Council for Technology Development. It's called, in brief, it's called Austrian Council. So yes, like innovation.
Okay.
I'm associated with the Institute for Technology and Innovation Management at the TU Hamburg. So innovation is a major part, and India is a major component of that research.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you, Raja. Yeah, let's, I think the basic idea is to say that, announce that there is a NISARG channel that's being now today there. The first video, that's what Rajnish Bhai's keynote today he gave. We had it a video session with him to have it elaborately because of the time constraint. So, but we had it more elaborate video, and we have split it into various small topics. So because if people don't have time, let's stay for 60 minutes or 1.5 hours. So we have split it, and we have a key words. So YouTube channel, and we will share the link with the CGI, and so that after this event, it can be shared among in the social media as well, so that people can also watch. And also this recording obviously will also be there. So that's the main point. And now I think we are at the last point of this event today, and I would like to request Shri Gulshan Dhingra, Vice Consul, sir, to offer vote of thanks, please. Gulshan ji, please.
Yeah, namaskar and good afternoon to all of you once again. Respected Consul General, sir, Dr. Madhusudan Reddy, our Counsellor, SNT in the Embassy of India, Berlin. Though it's first time that Mr. Reddy is joining us on this NISARG platform, I welcome him on board. And it's indeed my pleasure to present the vote of thanks on the occasion NISARG annual meet today. First of all, at the outset, I would like to extend my heartiest congratulations to NISARG team for completing 4 glorious years of success. And as Dr. Bala just informed that it's the launching of YouTube channel. So my congratulations for that also. And since topic for the today's discussion focused on the need for the affordable excellence in the post-corona world and the enabling role of digital transformation. I, on behalf of the Consulate General of India, extend our gratitude to Dr. Balaramani for coordinating with the consulate, Dr. Rajnish Tiwari, who had kindly agreed to be a speaker during this occasion, which he did, and for wonderfully explaining in the most lucid way the affordability of the digital transformation in the post-corona world. I also look forward reading to his work on frugal innovation, which he shared during his talks. And last but not the least, though the world is still struggling to come out of the pandemic, I wish that we soon come over the pandemic and will soon meet physically to enjoy, more in a practical way. And it has always been a pleasure and honor to be a part of this event. I wish you all, including Dr. Balaramani, Dr. Rajnish Tiwari, Dr. Sadhna, Dr. Mayank, and all the audience, a great success in the years to come while connecting with NISARG. And thank you so much. Thank you all. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Gulshanji. I would like to also express a multitude of gratitudes to every one of you, Consulate General of India, especially also to Consul General Sir, you and Parminder Bhai for supporting us always with various support systems, and Raja for the assisting with the web and everything. I'm sharing the link of all the videos right away so that it could be posted in the CGA platform as well, and I'll also share to everyone as well. So with that, thanks everyone, and wishing you all a very good evening, and also we hope to see us in another platform of the Consulate General of India or from the Embassy of India or another occasion. Thank you very much and wish you all well.
Thank you, Balabhai, for all your moderation also.
Always with pleasure. Sir, CG sir, would you like to speak anything, or shall we close it?
Yes. I thought it would be Rajnish's, all the technical jargons, but I'm so happy. I was just glued to the screen. He spoke in so simpler terms that I was just flabbergasted. Superb, Rajnishji. I know when we are talking about Hindi and other things, you are always so great. But the technical part I have heard today only, which you made it so simpler, like your Rigveda as a Ramcharitmanas. So it was in so simpler terms. Really, we would like to have you more and more on as a keynote speaker. Though on every occasion we have been associated with you. But today's webinar, I have been watching all the webinars, so many I was part of. But today's was very nice one and very comprehensible actually, because we attended some technical webinars also and organized. Thank you for that. And thank you participant for attending this. We are having more and more webinar events, not a physical one. So please do join on and also share those things on your personal WhatsApp groups or all social media groups so that more and more persons, just a person can get benefited. And we'll keep our efforts on to get connected with the Indian diaspora, with the Indian students, with the Friends of India, and everyone who are interested in reaching or taking our bilateral relationship with Germany and India at a greater heights. So thanks and have a great evening, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you.
And it's thanks to Balabhai actually while designing the program that he gave me enough time for explanation. Because if it is a very short program, then you obviously cannot explain in detail. So he was kind enough to give me a good slot. Thanks for that too.